Okay, welcome back to The Edge. Thanks for staying along. Hey, I want you to meet Charlie Henry. He is the Director of Communications for the Indianapolis Indians. Thanks for being on the show today.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me, Aaron.
You are more than welcome. I brought along a few other helpers here to help me with the show.
Yes, we're helpers. We're elves. We're baseball elves. Yeah.
So we've got Tom Broadbeck, who is the Director of Digital Media, and we have Nate Torbeck, the smart ass to my left.
Yes,
And-
that's actually on my card.
Yeah.
Absolutely is.
Smart ass to the left with an arrow. Yeah.
These gentlemen are actually going to help me out because I am sports underprivileged. What do you want to say? Sports handicapped.
I said sports. I said sports averse. So
Sports adverse.
And Victory Field has a little something for everyone. So
Fantastic.
Yeah, we do.
You need to help me out here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Nate's a huge fan of baseball.
Uh-huh.
Tom is a huge fan of baseball.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
was that a play on Tom's height?
absolutely.
And I don't know.
You called me fat?
No,
That was a fat joke?
No, it was. It was a height joke.
Oh, a height
Charlie's
joke?
really tall.
I'm really tall.
He's
Now,
really
I'm going to
tall.
refer back to my original introduction.
Yeah, no
Anyway.
kidding.
Right.
Where is this
I don't know
going?
why you
Smart ass on my
emphasized
left.
This is going
huge.
off the
and-
rails right away, guys.
That's what I do. That's how I roll.
So tell us about what you do over at the Indianapolis
Yeah.
Indians.
So as Director of Communications, I'm really responsible for providing some strategic direction of how we communicate out in the community and across our different channels. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. I oversee our baseball communication staff, our community relations staff, and our telecast and production unit as well.
You're very busy.
It is very busy, especially now. We're in the throes of the season.
Yep.
We've been going for about a month and a half now.
There was a pun there. I caught it.
In the throes of the season.
Throes?
It's not the same throes.
It's spelled different.
but
It's
yes,
spelled
yes,
differently in
yeah.
case you didn't know.
Yeah, but we are. The team's in Columbus this week.
Okay.
We're back home this weekend. Have a few more days on the road, and then back home the whole week after Memorial Day. So it's just sort of a constant drumbeat of activity.
Oh, fantastic. And if you haven't been to Victory Field, it is beautiful. And watching the game there is just fantastic. Yes, I have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have. And one
Back off.
thing I think is so cool. It's 21 years old.
It
Yeah,
is.
like what
Right.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
in its own
The
right.
Brave Stadium was it even 20 years before they
Before they tore it down. Yeah.
down? So
Yeah.
Victor Field looks great, and it's
That's-
21 years old.
That's something I hear from so many of our fans. I've only lived in Indy since 2010,
Okay.
and all I've known is Victory Field.
Right.
And so many of our fans feel like it was just yesterday when it just popped up in White River State Park.
I know,
and,
I know.
And honestly, you walk in those gates and you still have that feeling because our facility staff does such a great job of keeping it in impeccable shape.
Yeah, it is
So you notice
immaculate.
it, yeah.
I've also had the distinct pleasure of taking the Cub Scouts out regularly
Yeah.
to go sleep on the mounds and
Yep.
berm out there and
Yep.
watch a neat movie
Uh-huh.
out on the field. And I've done that for a number of years, and it's always fantastic. And just the staff is always hospitable to the Scouts. It's fantastic.
We
Kudos to them.
we have our Scouts night again this Friday. Actually, Friday's going to be a really busy night at Victory Field. We have a double header starting at 5:30.
Oh, wow.
Post game fireworks after the second game, then Scouts night.
Wow.
They're showing Zootopia. Sleep on the field.
Yep.
It's going to be a late night.
I'm
Yeah, I was
thinking
gonna say, you're not
Scouts.
going to get done playing until
Yeah.
midnight,
Yeah.
probably,
It's gonna
or
be a
close
late
to
night.
it.
But a total blast, unique experience
Yeah.
for those kids and those parents that are along for the ride too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna tee this up to you. See, there I go again. See,
If we're like
If you're
using, like,
playing
little
T-ball
if you're
still.
playing T-ball for
Yeah.
little kids.
That's fine.
I'm struggling, Nate. I'm
I
trying.
know. You're grasping at straws, or grasping at, I don't know,
Keep on going.
baseballs. So tell us a little bit about how the season's going. We were talking about it a little bit before. How's the season going? You guys have lost a lot of prospects the last couple of years with
We have.
Polanco and Marte, Glasnow, Tyon. We'll get into my fantasy baseball problem here later.
Yeah, as you alluded to, I mean, Pittsburgh, we're the AAA affiliate of the Pittsburgh Pirates Major League team. Pittsburgh is an organization that really relies on its farm system, and we're fortunate that we have a lot of the game's top prospects that come through Indianapolis. Just this year alone, we've already had 9 guys get called up. Last year, we had 10 or 11 throughout the whole year, so 9 for the first month and a half. That is a very brisk pace. A lot of that has to do with injuries and things at the major league level, but for a few of our guys, they're simply being rewarded on the merit of their performance. We have the league leader in home runs in the International League, Max Moroff, and one of the top hitters in the league as well, Christopher Bostic. So they both have been to Pittsburgh and back.
Were those guys on your fantasy list?
No.
They're not up to the major league level yet, but they will be.
They'll
be
how
calling
fantasy
soon.
baseball works?
No
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Minor leagues, just for your clarification, minor league stats do not count.
Yep.
Okay.
Got to draw attention to my ignorance.
Yeah, exactly.
So we do. We've had a constant flow of guys to Pittsburgh and back.
I'm sure, and especially with people talk about big cities versus the smaller cities. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati and Milwaukee and teams like that who have to work a little bit harder.
Sure.
I know I just listed Midwest teams, but coaching's got to be a little bit better. There's a different way that you guys have to go about doing things.
Pittsburgh isn't going to. They're not going to go out and sign a big name free agent as easily as somebody else will, as another organization.
Just say the Yankees. Just
another
say the Yankees.
Organization to be named.
Yeah.
And so that certainly creates an opportunity for Indianapolis. It creates an opportunity for our organization to feature these guys in a way that they will likely be featured in Pittsburgh.
Right.
We have the top prospect in the Pittsburgh organization right now, Austin Meadows. He's only 21 years old, really good kid, but he is a kid still.
Right.
He really should be a junior in college, right? You look at him, you don't think that. He looks like he's going on 28, 29 just because of his build. Physically, he looks the part of a professional baseball player. But just in the short amount of time that we've had him this season, end of last season as well, you could tell he's really maturing in front of the microphone, in front of media, or in front of community groups that he might be speaking to. And it's that type of experience that I think is going to prove really valuable for him and players like him when they make it to Pittsburgh in the major league level.
Yeah, that's always really good to see, especially when you get some of the major league players who don't know how to handle the limelight a lot. And they get into trouble. They get 3 games. Matt Harvey just got a 3-game suspension from the Mets. For whatever, but
happens to a lot of us.
So that stuff's great to hear. Well, tell us a little bit more about you and kind of your career path, and maybe swing in that Sports Illustrated issue.
Sure. It's been an interesting path to this point. It has. Yeah. We'll touch on that.
Yeah.
So I'm a Purdue University grad, Indiana guy. I'm originally from Michigan City, 219 area code in Northwest Indiana.
It's okay, Charlie. I still like it.
Oh. Purdue grad. Finished up there. Had a few really good internship experiences as I finished school. Just met with a student yesterday, and I was kind of stressing the importance of internships to her, specifically in sports. It's such a competitive field to get into. I worked in community relations for the Indiana Pacers, and then in communications for Indiana Sports Corporation as well. Those were 2 great experiences for me. My first full-time job was actually with an engineering firm called American Structure Point. It was really an introduction to the professional and corporate world to me in a way that I had never been introduced to it before.
Awesome.
Yeah. Ended up working for about 5.5 years at Borshoff, an advertising and PR agency, and then jumped
right down
here.
the street.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then jumped here to the Indians. So you mentioned the Sports Illustrated cover.
I had to.
You had to mention
that.
Let it go. Certainly the highlight experience of my time at Sports Corporation was when Indianapolis hosted the 2010 Final Four. Obviously, that was Butler's run to the Final Four the first time here in Indy. It was sort of a magical feeling for a lot of us that were involved in the event, certainly all the Butler faithful that are here in the city. I was fortunate to be a photo steward during that event, and when Gordon Hayward missed that last second shot, I was kind of right underneath that basket when that happened. Next week, getting the mail at my apartment mailbox, throw the mail down on the kitchen counter or whatever, and I look down and I'm there on the cover, out of focus, right underneath John Shire's butt. As Duke is celebrating the win, it was an interesting moment, interesting credential to have.
Hey, man.
Yes,
there could. I was almost going to say there could be worse places to be, but I
don't know.
I don't think that's
that was
actually
interesting. Yeah.
Now you have that frame somewhere, right?
I do actually. My wife had it framed for me. I think it was a reminder of where I'm supposed to sit
be
in the background. Yes,
Slightly blurry.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Well, as the director of communications, what kind of marketing efforts do you guys regularly pursue to get people out to the stadium?
Sure. And so I'm glad you asked that, because when I mentioned earlier that we do have something for everyone at Victory Field, we truly do. And we kind of think of our audience in 3 different ways. Certainly we have something for those diehard baseball fans, right? That are going to come out to see the game's top prospects or just come out to catch a game. They like being around the game. We also think about those young professionals. Indianapolis is fortunate, specifically with the downtown core, of a lot of young people that are living downtown and are always looking for something to do. A game at Victory Field is sorry. Is everything okay next door?
Yeah, I think so. I don't really know.
Yeah, a game at Victory Field is certainly one of the best options in the middle of summer or spring, as we're in right now. So we're thinking about them when we're marketing, and then also just thinking about the young families who kind of look for different opportunities to bring their kids out to. If it's Scouts Night, if it's a superhero night, or we're having Daniel Tiger later in the year, things like that. So we're thinking about different ways to touch those different categories of people.
So you have superhero night, I hear.
We do.
They've got a couple.
Is somebody at this table a really big superhero fan?
Absolutely. In fact, I think you also
Let me tell you something here real quick, Charlie.
Okay.
So I think you actually had a Batman night, if I'm not mistaken.
We do in August. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep. So that's
company
your guy.
Trip, company
excursion.
It's Batman and Robin. Just the Dark Knight.
Yeah,
just the Dark Knight.
We'll have the team in special jerseys, special Batman jerseys. Fans.
I'll double down. I'll bring my team too, and they'll all be in Batman jerseys as well.
Oh,
maybe we could swing something, and we could all wear Batman, like legit jerseys.
No kidding. Yeah. No kidding. That'd be awesome.
Let's do something like that.
We'd love to do that. That'd be great.
So what? I mean, you've isolated a lot of these different demographics, these different user personas as we talk about it, and there's certainly a lot of different amenities that the field provides, right?
Yep.
What new channels of communication are you using to be able to connect? Because you just went through kind of a stratification of a lot of different places where the demographics are, and they have different kind of consumption of marketing.
Yeah.
So what different channels are you using?
So we're featured across what you would standard think of for social media channels: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and each of those have a slightly different voice depending on our audience. Our Facebook audience, we might be a little bit more geared towards the families, the young families there. Twitter audience certainly leans a little harder towards baseball, especially in-game. A lot of in-game.
Oh yeah. I was catching that. We went out, I think, last year to a full company outage, going out to and then just the chatter that you had in there.
Yeah, this year for the first time we're featuring video highlights in game as well. That's sort of a byproduct of our new HD video board and the new technology in the control room that's really allowed us to do some really cool things we haven't done before, like in-game video highlights on social media.
Yeah.
And then our Instagram audience, we're probably a little bit more focused on the young professional there. So that's how we've kind of segmented it across social. Yeah.
But you're talking about the new video board, and as an avid baseball fan myself, I'm okay going to a game and just being outside and sitting there and watching baseball for a couple hours, right? And hanging out, having a beer or some water or whatever else other people drink at baseball games.
Beer.
Some peanuts, having a hot dog, like enjoying just being at a baseball game and being outside.
Yep.
It's that switch has turned drastically there, especially when you get into the younger audiences that you're talking about. It's constant trying to keep up with the communication. You got to constantly keep them moving through the system, and in between innings you got to have something going on all the time. And that's why they've done the pitch clock, and that's why we're doing replays and stuff now. And so what has the stadium, including the new video board and stuff like that, what is the stadium and what are you guys trying to do to kind of capture that new age feel for baseball, that trying to get those younger audiences involved and include them in all that stuff?
So what Nate was talking about with our facility upgrades, we have a new HD video board in right field. It's 3 times bigger than the previous version.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is really beautiful. It's stunning when you walk in, especially if you're familiar with the old version.
The
old board.
I like the old board.
That's
but,
right.
Again, me versus somebody else.
We have also digital ribbon boards that kind of line the upper deck. Really gives a professional feel, like something you'd see at Lucas Oil Stadium or Bankers Life Fieldhouse. And then we also have a totally new digital audio system where you can actually hear the audio in the park from anywhere in the park. That wasn't always the case with the old system. That was standard in 1996. Hadn't been touched really since the upgrade this year.
Wow.
So it's a totally new experience there in the park. Free Wi-Fi for all of our fans, as kind of Nate was referring to. Many of us are on our phones when we're at the game. And then I would just say we're always looking for ways to engage people, whether it's in park with games in between innings, and certainly on social too. We have tweet your seat opportunities. I know we just did it for IMAX tickets for Guardians of the Galaxy.
There you go.
Showing at IMAX.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlie.
Yep. So we're always looking for ways to sort of engage people, whether it's in park or on social. Yeah.
So tell us about some of the other comic book character nights that you guys have coming up. I know there's a Thor out there.
Thor's coming up. The next one is Superman and Wonder Woman. That's Saturday, June 1st. And then, Saturday, June 3rd. And then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right after that.
Okay, is it New Age Turtles or
it's
are we
the
going to
New
go
Age
classic?
Turtles?
All right, well,
apparently they have
grungier ones.
I know. Well, apparently they don't say Cowabunga anymore.
Really?
What?
I know. They say Booyakasha.
No. What does that mean?
No one at this table knows what that means.
That's not even. I mean,
it's New Turtles, I guess.
I was gonna say we used to say. Never mind. But
yeah. So that's June 10th to the 11th, and you guys alluded to Batman and Robin later in the year. Thor's coming up. Yep. We have a Star Wars night coming up. That's July 15th. So
don't sell that short.
Star Wars night.
You know how many baseball games he's gonna go to?
I know.
You're lining it up.
Well, there is a superhero ticket package where you can get tickets to each of the superhero games.
Oh my!
Yeah, Indianapolis.com or call the box office for that.
I'm just throwing that one out there.
What did you do to me, man?
I don't know. He's gonna go to more. He's gonna go to more baseball games this season than he has in his entire life combined, probably now.
So what happens on superhero night? Do they wear the special uniforms? You said.
Yeah. So we'll have a themed jersey that the players will wear, and then those jerseys will actually be auctioned off in game, and all the proceeds go to a different charity.
Cool.
So when we had it for Guardians of the Galaxy, the charity was Community Health Foundation, and they were raising money for a new product called NICView, and it basically was a piece of technology that allowed parents that had children, babies, in the NICU. Yeah. It allowed them to always be able to watch them, so they didn't have to be right there by their bedside. Yeah. Total game changer for those parents. And so we're through those superhero nights, we're looking to kind of create meaningful partnerships like that, because they are some of our most popular nights. Those in-game auctions, auctioning off those game-worn jerseys, that's a really cool opportunity for people to kind of have a piece of the night and a piece of the Indians. So it's a good opportunity for those nonprofits too. Yeah,
fantastic.
So the last thing we're one of the later things here. So tell me about the craft beer nights. So I like craft beer.
Okay.
You like craft beer.
Yep.
Tom likes Diet Coke.
Okay.
No, I don't. Not Diet Coke.
Regular Coke. Sorry,
I do
he doesn't
craft
like
water.
Diet Coke. Craft water.
water.
Yeah. Fiji.
That'd be Fiji.
He's got
Voss.
a spring in his yard.
Voss
Yes,
water.
Voss.
Yes.
So this is something that would be, especially with the Indy craft beer scene, right?
Yes.
This is something that should be appealing to a larger and larger audience, and especially when we're talking about the younger audiences, right?
Totally.
So, tell us a little bit about the craft beer nights. So is it every Thursday? Tell us a little bit about
every
that.
Thursday night. We just had our first one last Thursday, and basically on Thursday nights, Sun King, who's our official craft beer partner, will always be there tapping a different seasonal brew. So they always have Indians Lager at the park. Yeah. They always have Wee Mac. But when they come out for Thursday craft beer night, they'll have something else as well. So they'll have two.
How many beards are in the audience at that point in time?
The beard.
The beard ratio.
What is the beard to beer ratio?
The beard to beard ratio really increases vastly, specifically around center field where the sampling takes place.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
Outside of Sun King, they actually bring two other brewers from around the state with them. So the next craft beer night is June 1st. They're bringing Round Town out of no, Round Town was last week. They're bringing a brewery out of Kokomo with them, and then Indiana City Brewery, which is locally here. The Kokomo Brewery's Half Moon Brewery.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's got to get Omegang from Cooperstown to come down for a night, man. That would be awesome.
I know Three Floyds is coming later this year.
Nice.
A lot of fans of Three Floyds up in Munster.
Yep.
St. Joseph Brewery, which I think is nearby here, just a couple blocks away. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm feeling
that's
the
Thursday
love.
craft beer nights.
You're feeling
There's
baseball.
A really cool.
You like baseball.
We got superheroes. We got Star Wars.
Yeah.
And craft beer. I am now officially a baseball fan.
There it is.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
It took this type of intervention to make it happen.
Yeah. Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Before we got into your segment, we did a video of Gift Ngoepe.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about his story. How cool has it been to watch him come up through, especially a system like ours, right? That in Indianapolis and Pittsburgh, in a smaller system like that and stuff like that, and his background and his story.
Gift's story is really unique. He's a guy who's born in South Africa and was just called up to Pittsburgh just within the last 2-3 weeks, and he became the first African-born player to ever make it to the major leagues. Big story over there, and it's been a big story here for us and across baseball. The New York Times had a really wonderful write-up about him earlier this month. Shared to our Facebook page for anyone that wants to go check that out. But Gift, he was introduced to the game through his mom. His dad split early on their family, so his mom raised him and his brothers, and one way she did that was working in a baseball clubhouse in Africa, South Africa. That's how he was introduced to the game, and he got really, really good at it, specifically defensively. The grass and the dirt there isn't quite the same as it is here, and it trained his hands and his footwork in a way that really allowed him to excel, and he's kind of used that over the last 8-9 years in the minor leagues to finally get his chance now. And you guys played that video over the break. That's on our social media channels as well. His story is one that we're all kind of rooting for him to not come back to Indy, to make it in Pittsburgh and just to stay.
Stick.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things, and I'm sure that he's had a ride since getting up there, being the first person from Africa to make it to the majors and all that other stuff. So what was that like? So what was that like when he got the call? Were you around? Were you able to talk to him, or do you interact with the players when you guys?
We do.
That,
I wasn't with him when he got the call. I understand that it happened on a road trip, and he was on the bus, and it's something that I think it's something that he had really looked forward to. I had heard him talk in the past about how one day there could be a movie made about his life if he can make it, if he can succeed. And I can't imagine the weight of kind of those expectations if you know there's sort of a whole country and a whole continent pulling for you.
Absolutely.
And then you also probably selfishly in the back of your mind, you're also feeling like, man, these great things could happen. This could mean so much for my life. So you have that pressure on top of it, and he's managed it really well. He's doing pretty well. The rap on Gift is that defensively he's a stud. It's just a matter of will his bat come around. And in the spring he hit over 400.
Right.
He was
okay.
more than serviceable
for anybody who knows what baseball is.
It's outstanding.
Better than like 260 is pretty decent.
Yeah, and he was serviceable here, and he's serviceable right now there. So if he can continue that, he's going to be fine.
And when he got that first hit in the video, you can just see that weight just go off his shoulders when he hugged the first base coach, and you can just definitely tell that was important to him.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking to continue telling those stories. We have a guy named Dovydas Neverauskas. He's Lithuanian.
Say what now?
Yeah, Dovydas Neverauskas. He's Lithuanian. He actually was called up 2 or 3 days before Gift, and was actually the first player from Lithuania to ever play in the major leagues as well.
Wow.
A little different story. Lithuania's a little smaller than the whole continent of Africa, but still.
Continent. Sure. That's still a great story.
It's still a great story. So he's back with us in Indy, and I think he'll make his way back to Pittsburgh eventually. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. Yeah, we have a few guys who have interesting stories to tell, and so it's exciting to get.
Yeah. Are there any other favorite stories you have from past seasons?
I would say the one that sticks out from this year is a guy named Josh Lindblom. Josh is actually a Purdue grad.
Yep.
And was
okay. I went to Purdue. He's just being.
I know. Come on, Aaron.
I'm getting surrounded here.
Yeah. No, Josh is he's a wonderful story. He has major league experience with the Dodgers and A's, and actually spent the last 2 years playing in Korea. Was just looking for a little more playing time, and has a beautiful young family. They actually just had a third child, baby Monroe, a little girl. Turns out she was born with a heart defect. They found out about that while the family was in Korea before the baby was born. So while he was finishing his year last year, his family came home to Indiana, and they actually came to Indy to see doctors at Riley for baby Monroe. And she was born fine, and she's fine considering right now, a few months old. But Josh has been very open telling his story. that being in Indy has been a blessing for him and his family, and Monroe specifically. He's gotten called up to Pittsburgh since. He's back in the bigs. That's always been his goal, is to get back to the bigs, but this has been a blessing for him and his family to be in Indy so that Monroe and his family could be close to those doctors. So that's been a story that we've been telling the first month of the year or so. Josh is a really cool guy. He's also a great talker. I think you guys would love to sit down and talk with him if he finds his way back in Indy.
Hey, we'd be up for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I got a question for you. You have a new partnership with the Children's Museum.
We do.
So what's in store with that in 2018?
Sure. So you guys might have heard the Children's Museum is creating their Sports Legends experience. Right. And I mean, pretty much any sport under the sun is going to be featured in that thing. It's going to be really exciting. My family, we're members. I'm so excited to take my kids to this. They're going to have a baseball component to it. We're going to have a display with Rowdy and some players. It's basically sort of a large picture display, a photo op for fans. And then it'll have some interactive elements too. And just some learning about kind of the history of the Indians, the Indians organization in Indianapolis. One thing that was really cool when I started with the Indians, just learning that the Indians organization is the oldest sports franchise in the city. We've been around since 1902. So it's not even close. And I think that just speaks to the age of baseball, right?
Well, and even if you go, I've been in some of the suites up there and stuff like that, and some of the stuff that's hanging on the walls and some of the bats that they have hanging. I mean, it's just awesome history of other franchises and other players and some great stuff.
So through our partnership with the Children's Museum, we'll look for ways to kind of talk about that history of our organization and why it's significant in our city, why it's significant to us. And if we could create a few more fans of baseball and a few more kids that want to play baseball, even better. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, you certainly are a touchstone on culture in Indianapolis.
Sure.
And I mean, that goes to the point is that the club's been around that long, and you're certainly plugging in more than ever before. And your role has exploded in responsibilities to be able to connect and activate in all these different demographics and really lift not only the awareness of the games and the awareness of the players.
Sure.
But you're part of the social
something
fabric.
more. Yeah. And I think specifically stepping into this role, that's something that I think about a lot is how do we operate outside of our silo at the corner of West and Maryland?
Right.
How do we connect with people? How do we bring the baseball experience to Indianapolis rather than expecting people to come in through our gates? We're very fortunate. Last year we had 650,000 fans come through our gates.
Over the course of the season.
So, that's incredible.
Awesome.
That's more than the Pacers and the Colts.
Absolutely.
And consistently, over the last 4 years, we've either set a franchise record for attendance or we've led all of minor league baseball in attendance. So we've been very fortunate at the gate. I think that speaks to people's what people think about our experience at Victory Field. But I think that also speaks to the opportunity we have outside of our walls too. So that's something that we're really thinking a lot about specifically this year and moving forward is how can we impact the community in such a way that's true to us. It's true to who we are as a baseball organization, but also benefits our community. And that's something we take very seriously. The Schumacher family has owned the Indians for a long time, and they take that community impact very seriously. So I think it's going to always be important to us, but I think ever more so as we continue to grow and succeed.
Kudos to you. I mean, and you're leading the way with these type of anchor points inside of the city. So fantastic. Watch what the Indians are doing. You can certainly follow on social media. It's on Twitter. It's at Indy Indians. Facebook, just search for Indianapolis Indians. Instagram, Indy Indians, and the website Indy Indians. And you can certainly get all of your tickets at Indy Indians. It's almost like hey, you grab that domain and just ran with it.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, be aware of Thursday craft beer night ticket package. $20 gets you 2 craft beers plus a lawn ticket.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
A craft beer in Victory Field is $8.50.
There you go.
You're
just do the math.
Getting a good, getting a good deal on your seat.
Yeah.
If you have a beard, even better.
Right. Yeah. Or you're getting
you get
a
a discount if you have a beard.
Yeah.
No, but you'll fit in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just about inclusion.
Yeah.
So check it out over at indyindians.com/craft beer or call the Victory Field box office at 317-269-3600. 3545. So any final words, Charlie, on talking about your role in Indianapolis Indians? That was very well said. But what does the Indianapolis Indians want the Indianapolis public to know?
I would say that we are home consistently throughout the summer. When April rolls around, beginning of April to early September, you can count on Indians baseball. We have 71 home games a year. Cool. So I would say, we're there at the corner of West and Maryland, Victory Field. We're home all weekend, and then kind of that week after Memorial Day, we'll be home all week. So IndyIndians.com, just as you said it.
Fantastic. So come home to Indians, and if you haven't been there, and I'll own this, I haven't been there recently. Absolutely. I mean, there's a whole mess of things that they're doing for the city. So check that out. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We really did have a great show today, and thanks for everybody who contributed. Thanks to Mina from Two Chicks and a Hammer, and thank you, Karen, for not even being here. What's up with that?
He's still upset about it,
bitter. Karen. And be sure to check out Indianapolis Indians. Go to a game, go get a couple craft beers and have a lawn seat. It'd be fantastic.